In January 1964, Bob Dylan released his third album. The title of the album was also its first song, These Times They Are A-Changin'. One thing Bob Dylan and I have in common is that neither of us can sing or carry a tune, so I will save you the agony of listening to me singing it. But here's what it says. Come together, round people, wherever you roam, and admit that the waters around you have grown, and accept it that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If your time to you is worth saving, then you better start swimming, or you sink like a stone, for the times they are a-changin'. The song reflected both a reality and a feeling about the times. Escalation of involvement in Vietnam conflict was happening. There was a national exposure to the civil rights movement as a result of the Freedom Summer of 1963. A heightening of the Cold War due to the Cuban Missile Crisis. And in November of that year, JFK was assassinated. It was an unsettling time, not only in America, where I was growing up, but also here in Canada. Things were seemingly spinning out of control. Uncertainty. What does the future hold? How are we going to survive? What seemed secure and stable is now in flux. What's going to hold us together? Times, they are a-changin'. This is true for us as a congregation. The virus has caused changes in our lives, changes that make things no longer the same. All of us, to varying degrees, are experiencing changing, unsettling, troubling, and challenging times. One thing I hope will happen as a result of this new reality is that we can, beyond this response of always greeting one another with, hey, how are you doing? And our answer is often, well, fine. I hope that we can get past that reflective and defective response, that we can take a bigger step in sharing our lives together on a deeper level. For the reality is, there is pain, dis-ease, hurt, uncertainty, grief, loneliness that lurks in our personal lives, in our families, in our faith community, and beyond. If we could go around a virtual room and share, we would discover that we are experiencing a wide variety of tough stuff. Anxiety due to financial stress, heavy hearts due to some strained and broken relationships, fear resulting from physical conditions and diseases that persist, and discouragement over persistent battles with things like unhealthy behaviors. Some of these are connected to the virus, others have been happening for longer. So what do we do in unsettled times? When life seems uncertain, when the status quo is shaken, when we encounter disruption, when faced with difficulty or challenges in our life situations. The Apostle Paul wrote a letter of encouragement to Christians who were scattered across 5 regions of what's northern Turkey today. Their times were a-changin'. Persecution of Christians was on the rise. The Roman government basically turned a blind eye to the cruelty and injustice and discrimination that was being directed toward the followers of Jesus. The hardships aimed at Christians began in Rome and spread throughout the empire. Christians were facing some pretty tough stuff. Peter did not minimize the grief that the people were feeling. It was real. It was impacting their lives, and ignoring it would not make it go away. In reality, we experience grief in all kinds of trials. And Peter wants Christians to keep in mind a larger reality, one that can provide stability and hope in the midst of the trials that we are experiencing. And we are experiencing trials these days. Here's what Peter wrote. Praise be to the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ. In his great mercy, he has given us a new birth into a living hope through the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead, and into an inheritance that can never perish, spoil, or fade, kept in heaven for you, who through faith are shielded by God's power until the coming of the salvation that is ready to be revealed in the last time. In this you greatly rejoice, though now for a little while you may have had to suffer grief in all kinds of trials. These have come so that your faith of greater worth than gold, which perishes, even though refined by fire, may be proven genuine and may result in praise, glory, and honor when Jesus Christ is revealed. Though you have not seen him, you love him. And even though you do not see him now, you believe in him and are filled with an inexpressible and glorious joy, for you are receiving the goal of your faith, the salvation of your souls.